December 1776. It seemed bleak for the colonists as they relentlessly fought for their independence from Britain. It was clear that the first step against the impenetrable English force was to gain an ally. Their first choice was France, but hopes were low as the French beliefs clashed with the colonists' beliefs. Also, poverty was rampant throughout France, so they were in no position to generously give out money. Yet, Benjamin Franklin ventured across the Atlantic Ocean to forge an alliance. His charisma and eagerness to immerse himself in the culture was immediately accepted by the French officials. After 9 years, he returned to America as America's first ambassador, and with the most important ally in the Revolutionary War. It is clear that Benjamin Franklin is very deft at handling people, and thus his advice would be very prominent. One of his most effective tips in impacting people is that any fool can condemn, criticize, and complain, and many do. It is human tendency to instantly reject any criticism as it is a jab at one's self-confidence and pride. Thus, the best way to impact someone is to encourage instead of discourage. Rewarding good behavior is more beneficial than discouraging. This can be seen in history as well. Although Benjamin Franklin was never president, the French considered him tantamount to the likes of Thomas Jefferson and Theodore Roosevelt. Abraham Lincoln was another person who used Benjamin Franklin's advice. During the Civil War, there was great pressure on the president, as many generals did not follow the president's orders. This led Abraham Lincoln to write long diatribes against the generals. This immediately relieved his intense anger at the generals, but he never sent the letters. He knew that these letters would only evoke resentment and sullen acceptance from the generals, which would lead them to go against the president again. Instead, he rewarded the generals for good behavior. Thus, the generals would crave this reward and perform better. This can be displayed scientifically as well. B.F. Skinner, a famous psychologist, once experimented on animals. He rewarded one group of mice for good behavior and punished another for bad behavior. He then measured which group of mice retained information more quickly and effectively. There was a clear distinction in the data. The group that was rewarded for good behavior retained information more quickly. A similar study was done on humans, and similar results were produced. Companies use this tactic as well. George B. Johnson, a manager of an engineering company, recently had trouble getting his employees to wear hard hats. His first instinct was to severely reprimand his workers, but this only led to sullen acceptance. They would put on their hard hat, and when his back was turned, they would take it off again. Instead, he tried to be more understanding. He asked them whether their hard hats were uncomfortable, and then explained the hard hats could save their life one day. This approach involved no criticism whatsoever. Thus it was way more effective than just reprimanding them. Overall, in history, science, and in companies, it is clear that one should reward for good behavior instead of punishing for bad behavior. Encouraging is widely more beneficial than discouraging. Only then can we reach the charisma and power of Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin. And who doesn't want that? Thank you.